They said Mars was dead, barren, red, and still, a rock abandoned by life billions of years ago, now reborn under our boots, our domes, our flags. Humanity had pushed outward, clawing at the stars with bloodied fingers. Colonies grew, terraformers hummed. The red planet was becoming ours, until we dug too deep. It started at Ares Station 12, one of the farthest military outposts on the Martian frontier, built atop the Valles Marineris fault line. It was designed to be a silent sentinel, a warning to any who might think Earth's reach had limits. Marines were rotated in and out. Most never saw combat, just dust, drills, and dreadfully long silences. Then came the quake. The official logs say it was a tectonic anomaly, a deep, grinding groan from beneath the crust. No one questioned it. Mars had been geologically dead for eons. But the footage told another story. The cam feeds didn't go black. They screamed. A sound low and bone-deep ruptured the station's audio systems. Lights flickered. Shadows moved in impossible ways. Then came the blood. Marines armed with railguns and power armor fell screaming, not to enemy fire, but to something unseen, something old, something hungry. When the recon team arrived 12 hours later, Ares 12 was silent. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just drag marks, torn steel, and a smear of viscous black ichor that didn't register as any known compound. They sealed the place, filed their reports, and left it classified. But the whisper spread fast. Something beneath Mars was awake. The brass didn't believe it. They blamed stress, faulty equipment, maybe even desertion. But soldiers talk and stories grew teeth. Rumors of the Hollow Ones, of something ancient under the red crust. Forgotten gods, alien machines, echoes of a war older than Earth itself. Then the attacks began. First, it was a listening post. Then a mining rig. Then an entire terraforming hub. Always the same pattern. Systems fail, screaming static, then silence. When backup arrived, they found no bodies. Only blood, warped metal, and strange symbols scorched into the walls. Command panicked. They sent in the 31st Martian Drop Division. 10,000 elite soldiers, armed with exoframes, orbital support, and enough firepower to crack a moon. Their orders were clear. Descend into the breach beneath Ares 12. Find the source. Eradicate it. Only 27 came back. The survivors didn't speak. Not out of trauma, but because their tongues had been severed, burned shut. Some had gouged out their own eyes. Others had strange carvings etched into their skin. Spirals, runes, sigils that pulsed faintly under UV light. When medics tried to treat them, they screamed and clawed until their hearts gave out. The last one to die managed to scrawl a single word in blood before collapsing. Buried. That was when Earth declared martial law over Mars. Every colony was placed under military control. Civilian evacuations began. Whatever was under that planet, it was spreading. Through comm signals, through dreams, through the soil itself. Reports of mass hallucinations, suicides, and sudden disappearances skyrocketed. Entire settlements went dark. And then Mars screamed. On Sol 849, every seismic sensor on the planet lit up simultaneously. A shock wave, low and vast, rippled across the crust like a dying breath. Ares 12 exploded outward in a bloom of obsidian shards. From a yawning chasm rose them. They didn't have a name. To call them creatures would be an insult to biology. They were shapes. Too many limbs, too many mouths, always shifting. They moved like liquid shadows, ignoring bullets, tearing through titanium like paper. And they remembered. They remembered us. Not as conquerors, but as thieves. We woke their tombs. For weeks, Mars burned. Colonies fell one by one. Human forces fought back, deploying orbital strikes, neutron bombs, and even prototype singularity weapons. The things never stopped. For everyone we killed, 100 more clawed from the deep. They didn't speak. They didn't negotiate. But they learned. Tactics, weaknesses, psychology. They began mimicking us, twisting our dead into grotesque effigies, using our calms to whisper threats in familiar voices. They wanted us broken before we died, and still we held. Even as the casualty list grew, even as Mars cracked and bled, humanity didn't run. We dug in, not because we thought we could win, but because this was our planet now. We had paid for it, in sweat, in tears, in blood. In the final days, the last defensive line was drawn around Olympus Mons. The towering mountain became our Alamo. 10,000 remained. Soldiers, engineers, colonists who refused to leave. They called themselves the Last Flame. The plan was insane. A failsafe buried under the mountain. A dormant antimatter core, never meant to be used. They armed it, not to escape, but to deny the enemy victory. As the horde came, black as night and endless as the void, the last flame stood atop red stone and burning wreckage, singing earth songs, laughing, crying, praying. Then came silence. The core went critical. A light, brighter than the sun, engulfed Olympus Mons. The blast cracked the Martian crust, sending dust into orbit. It was seen from Earth. It was felt on Luna, and with it, the things vanished. Dead? Sleeping? No one knows. Mars is still, quiet once more. But the red planet is not ours. Not anymore. We buried the truth, called it containment breach, built memorials, told stories of brave colonists who gave their lives to save the future. But some of us remember. Some of us know. The nightmares haven't stopped. Worse still, the soil near the crater has begun to shift again. Instruments detect vibrations, like breathing. And sometimes, when the wind is right, the dust swirls into spirals, the same ones carved into our dead. Something beneath Mars was woken, and it's waiting, because blood called it once, and blood always calls again.